And they're basically just saying, like, the fact that Trump is championing it makes it so hard for them to convince anyone that they should buy Bitcoin or like that Bitcoin is a good thing. So
are people that weak-minded?
Yes.
Wow.
Definitely.
It's incredible.
And we're live. Welcome back to Token Narratives with Bitcoin.com, where we discuss the biggest stories shaping the Bitcoin and cryptoverse. I'm Graham, repping the marketing function at Bitcoin.com. The usual crew is with us again this week, that being David from the Bitcoin.com news team and Corbin, the CEO of Bitcoin.com. Now, before we get into today's show, just a quick announcement for you, which is that there are less than 48 hours remaining to claim Season 1 of Bitcoin.com's Verse token airdrop. If you have used the Bitcoin.com wallet app, you may be eligible. So check it out in the app or at airdrop.verse.bitcoin.com. And remember, Season 1 is just the beginning of our airdrop program, so stay tuned for details on Season 2. With the promo out of the way, let's get into our markets gut check. How do you feel about the markets this week? Anyone want to jump in first?
Poor. I feel poor.
Beat up.
I feel poor.
Yeah. Feel like a battered husband here. I feel just God.
We can't win. What's going on?
Ups and the downs.
It's just downs and the downs, though.
Well, yeah, but then you get some decent movements. Kind of. Oh, look, there might be life. Oh, look, Bitcoin brought me flowers. Maybe she's gonna change. No,
I have a bold prediction, which is that we're going down to 40K, which is the level that we were at before the ETFs launched. So we're going to fully retrace all the ETF gains. And then when Trump wins the election, Valhalla.
Yeah, I've heard this too. I've heard this spoken to in various places. I mean, not exactly the 40K mark, but the lower pain mark, because it appears that people who, a lot of this is like, it looks like apparently algorithm driven. And so this choppy stuff is great for algorithms and not for people. So they buy low at this range right now, where we are approximately now. And then when it gets up a little bit, just about 60, just there, then they sell. And so you get this kind of like mechanical choppiness. And people they're not really seeing the value yet. So yeah, I mean, I can kind of see, I'm sympathetic to that, Graham.
Yeah.
That bums me out. I mean, I like the little dash of hopium at the end, but my wife's not going to like that prediction.
Ethereum. Have you looked at the Ethereum chart? That is like
I try not to look at that one. That one's pissing me off.
Brutal chart. Good Lord.
Yeah, and now everyone's questioning ultrasound money. They're like, you know what? On second thought, we don't really actually need ultrasound money. That was a great meme. What's going on here, guys? You're pulling back out of that? That was awesome.
Yeah. So
now they're we're back to just being DeFi, even though Vitalik hates it. Okay.
Well, I mean, the other thing is, I don't know if we have any news on this, but like, it's kind of funny the fact that like Vitalik is kind of stepping more into that cheerleading position the past week or two, has made people less bullish and more fearful, right? It's like when the captain and the pilot in the airplane is like, just comes on randomly. He's like, folks, everything's great. We're doing fine. No problems with this airplane whatsoever. And there hasn't been any turbulence or, whatever. And you're like, uh-oh, that kind of worries me. Why is this guy starting to talk to us a lot now? So I thought that was interesting.
I guess we just got paid. Everyone got paid. Did anyone buy this week? Is anyone feeling bullish enough to be bullish?
I've got a confession to make, which
did you sell?
No. Last week we spoke about TON token, and
did you buy any?
I bought a bag. Yes, nice. I bought a bag, and it went down 20%. And then last night I sold it, and it has since rallied.
That's good.
5%. So
trading's hard.
Did you guys see the news that just broke right now? It's in my show and tell.
Let's bring it up.
Why don't we bring it up? It's at the bottom. Telegram updates FAQ.
I've got it.
I think we're going to see another puke right now because of this news.
Is this like breaking news? Like,
so where did it
go? Apparently, yes.
So Telegram quietly updated the FAQ on their page, where before it said all Telegram chats and group chats are private amongst their participants. We do not process any requests related to them. And now it says all Telegram apps have report buttons that let you flag illegal content for our moderators in just a few taps. So actually, I think this is bullish.
I don't know, man.
Bullish TON, because what it means is that they got to Durov, doesn't it? And now what it means. The coast is clear. So that means the legal troubles will be settled, and Telegrams will then be like an ordained.
Sound like a bag holder. That's a bag holder.
maybe you guys can clarify. I mean, maybe I'm just in some incredibly inappropriate Telegram groups, but I've been in some where they, like I'm on my Android, and then like it'll say like you can't see this message because it's too inappropriate.
Really?
Have you guys ever seen that stuff? Yeah, so there is this feature already in Telegram where like if you're in an ultra spicy Telegram group and it's been already censored by their people, then they'll start flagging the messages in that group where you can't see them, and the only way to see them is to bypass the Apple Store or Google Store versions of the app and go directly to the APK, where the APK doesn't have that level of moderation. But
that's crazy.
There is some level of moderation already in Telegram for certain channels. I think private groups and stuff like that, they don't moderate, obviously. But like if you were in a, I don't know, Nick Fuentes group or something like that, you're going to probably be like, oh, like some of this stuff I can't read because it's like, they're noticing.
Here's what I think. I think this might, I think most people thought Telegram was more private than it was. And this kind of stuff is going to make people pause, or I don't know. So I could imagine it puking a little lower. This is my hope, because I want to be a future bag holder. I want it to puke lower.
Yeah.
If you look at the chart, it looks like it's sitting on support right now, and if it pukes below this, we could see some decent downward price action, and then I would buy.
Just want to point out, this is where I sold last night, and then so
right, but I'm looking at the daily, and oh man, I don't know. I hope this news causes crypto people to lose.
It could easily go back to $2, and then it's a buy for sure.
Yeah. I mean, because there's so much. Yeah, I agree. But like, it's crazy when you go to these crypto conventions. Everyone uses Telegram, right? Which was surprising to me that it's so widely.
Have you ever been at a have you ever been at one of these conferences though, when like some idiot was like, "Can I add you on WhatsApp?" And you're like, "What's wrong with you, man? WhatsApp? What?"
It's like asking for someone's
email. Read the room, man. We're Telegram people around here.
What's your fax number?
Yeah, it's strange, man.
Yeah. All right. Shall we talk about Liberty Financial?
Yeah, you guys got to explain it like Financial. I'm 5 here. This is starting to feel kind of like Do you guys remember the pre-Bitcoin? Was like Liberty Gold? Do you remember these like? There were like gold-backed dollars that weren't.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
the guy went to jail eventually.
Yeah, it does sound like the bank of a supervillain in a movie. Like,
yeah, it's kind of cool.
So, World Liberty Financial is the project that's been launched by not Trump, but the Trump family, the Trump dynasty. It seems that Barron, the 18-year-old, is on the white paper of this project as a visionary.
Amazing.
And I've got their pitch here. But it says, our mission is crystal clear. Make crypto and America great by driving the mass adoption of stablecoins and decentralized finance. Now, okay, fine. But what it actually is, it seems, is that it's a fork of Aave, and it's Doe Finance's fork of Aave, and there's actually people from Doe Finance on the
As
the
in
team.
Do Kwon?
No, Doe Finance was a
as in dough, as in like
an Aave
cookie
fork.
dough.
DOH, yeah. It was an Aave fork that got hacked.
Okay.
Yeah, and disappeared, and they're back.
Did they learn from their mistakes? Is the question.
No, it doesn't look like it. Like, look at the site. There's a comparison image of the two sites. And
Yes.
the only thing
It's the
difference
same
is like
front end.
it's
The
the same-
colors.
well, they changed the color. I think they changed
They changed
it from like
colors,
a off white to kind of a dark mode.
Let's pull it up. Let's take a look.
yeah. I'm just
So you're
trying to
like,
type.
okay. So this is just like a somewhat less trustworthy, or perhaps extremely less trustworthy Aave that allows anyone to deposit Ethereum in stablecoins and then they can borrow against it. And it's now called World Liberty.
Yeah,
So that's the thesis
Yeah.
here? Is it's a
Backed
fork?
by the Trumps.
It's the Trump fork of Aave.
Yeah.
On Ethereum, or what are we talking here?
I don't think they've gotten that far.
Well, I mean, I guess if it's an Aave fork, it's probably got to be. I don't think they've touched any Rust stuff. Or
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be EVM. I don't know which chain they're launching on though. I doubt
Interesting.
it. I don't know if it'll be on L1. I'd imagine it'd be on like Base or something, but I actually haven't seen.
This could be the
Trying to
site,
find the-
but I wouldn't be surprised if this is like
hack.
a phishing site as well.
Yeah, you might not want to connect to that. That looks sus. I mean, great
Yeah.
bird though.
World Liberty Financial. I hear chickens in the background, Corbin.
Yeah, I got some chickens in
that's
the back.
you, yeah?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
my chickens. I mean, they're not my chickens.
Oh,
My
your
neighbor's
chick-
chickens.
oh.
Yeah, I mean,
Graham
They'll someday
actually
be
has
my
chickens.
I got
You get
chickens, but I didn't get any males for that reason because not a fan of the
wake up call.
cock-a-doodle-doo.
Yeah.
This
My
looks like
neighbor
the
murders
actual
them
site.
in the morning,
Holy-
every third day. So it's pretty gruesome. Like you wake up and you're like, oh yeah, it's
Seriously?
slaughter day.
Every third
yeah,
day?
totally. I mean,
Holy moly.
Yeah. It's a good wake up call. You know, a little death in the morning get you going, get you fired up, ready for the bull market.
Yeah, so their website, I think this is the right one. It's just coming soon. Yeah, and so
Graham,
anyway,
I can send you a link to the sent you a link to like the comparison photos. It's
where
kind of funny.
did you send said link?
So,
Telegram.
so what's the play with this World Liberty token? Is it a token? Is this a governance thing, or is this their version of like, okay? At what point is like the Fed going to be like, hey, Trump family, don't do that, please? Like this seems very much like, hey, we're hey, welcome, we're here for the U.S. dollar. We're going to make America great again. Also, we're doing this like new money thing. Like he's going to get the call at some point, right? You can't do this.
Well, apparently the governance token for this project will be non-transferable,
which is crazy.
is rather innovative, I guess you could say.
Is that ironic? I don't know.
It's crazy.
I mean, okay, you can't move it. If your wallet gets hacked, you're screwed. You're like, can't transfer this, man. Sorry.
Maybe they're going to change that rule when Trump gets in
Emperor
office.
for life, right? Emperor for life. Like the governance is set in stone, right? Once whoever's in control of it is in control of it,
But
time immemorial.
my
I mean,
God.
that's the type
Guys,
of
we
thing
deserve
the
this price.
SEC
We deserve this price drop. This is so stupid.
Isn't that the type of thing the SEC would want to see? Because then you can't trade it.
I guess. It's not really. Crypto's made for the streets, guys. This is so stupid.
Funny, yes. You could conceivably trade it, though. I mean, that's the thing is, for example, you could maybe make a wrapper or something, smart contract to control another address. So, I mean, there are ways probably to get around it. If it's tied to an address, right? Anyway.
Baron.
It's a crazy thing.
He had one good chance, and he decided to make a non-transferable token. Come on. Did we ever get confirmation? Was he actually in that one with what's his name, Pharma Bro guy? Was he actually involved, or was that just like the speculative?
I don't think it was ever confirmed, right?
Yeah, it sounds like they were in communications, and Pharma Bro was trying to parlay that into like riches, but it fizzled out, I think.
The latest gossip I heard on that when it was kind of winding down was they were deeply involved, and then the KOLs who were also involved, they told people who told people who told people, and then the early allocations just got bought by all these insiders, and then the Trump people got cold feet, and they're like, "Whoa, it's kind of gotten out of control," and then they kind of walked away from it.
That makes sense.
So then they went back to their boardroom and said, "All right, guys, try again. We're gonna do a new one with a bird, World Liberty. It's gonna be an Aave fork. Ours is gonna be 10 times better than Aave.
Yeah,
never been hacked by the old Aave guys, but this is different Aave guys.
The crypto grifter bros are out there like desperately trying to like they're sifting through Barron Trump's trash, trying to find ways to contact him to like get into his head and launch things with him. And Barron Trump, the 18-year-old, is like, yeah, I'm going to be a crypto entrepreneur. See, look, Dad.
Look, Dad, I'm successful.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe he's looking for that $1 million loan from Aave, you know?
But
he can bootstrap himself. Look at me, Dad. I got my own loan.
They also launched an epic meme contest for this very serious financial product, World Liberty Financial.
Mm-hmm.
The first marketing thing they've done here is launch an epic meme contest, which I think tells you the seriousness of this project.
So this is going to go right alongside his NFTs, I guess, in terms of quality, substance.
I don't know if there's going to be any cutouts of the knockout suit given to governance holders, but you never know.
Yeah, what's with Trump using like AI to generate images of himself?
Well, I don't know if it's actually Trump doing that. I mean, I don't think he's the one behind his keyboard, like going into ChatGPT saying, "Make image Trump extremely badass."
Yeah,
big guns.
That's not what I mean. But like, surely the Trump team could like get a picture of the actual man.
Well, I mean, he's kind of an old dude, man. He's like, what is he, pushing 80?
So they just want to make him look good.
Yeah, you got to make him look a little healthier, you know.
Well, some of those NFT pictures are great. Like he looks like a young 1990s action hero.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, I guess maybe the type of person who's purchasing these types of NFTs, you know, They're okay with the funny, the somewhat misleading, the photoshopped abs.
All right, what do you guys want to talk about next? We got crypto enforcement action post pivot.
Yeah, so this is just
Ethereum
something
layer
that
twos. Let me just run through.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then let's decide what to talk about. That thing, the crypto enforcement action post pivot, Ethereum layer twos, and is Trump's support for Bitcoin and crypto a good thing for Bitcoin and crypto? Those are the three topics I've got here. What do you guys want to talk about?
I think we could talk about all of them.
Which one you want to talk about first? I think we should talk about since we're already talking about Trump.
Okay.
This question is this whole Trump campaign, or Trump and dynasty being involved in crypto, is this good or bad for crypto?
I'd break this into two parts.
Because you could make the argument it's quite bad for crypto.
Yeah. I mean, I would break it into two parts. This kind of meme coin, shit coinery stuff is not a good look. But the fact that he's talking about Bitcoin and crypto and making America the center of the crypto universe kind of stuff, I think that's great. And as an American, it's great. And so I think that is really good for the industry. And quite frankly, I think it's good for America. So overall, I would say that it's net positive. But this kind of stuff that we just talked about is, to me, a negative, clearly a negative.
Yeah.
I think overall it's okay. Some stupid stuff gets people at least being like, oh, so there's still people building on this thing. Even if it's a little stupid, it's like, oh, okay, it's still a thing,
I think there's a real danger that it's quite a bad thing, because half the population just hates Trump. And
so then they'll hate crypto by just being like, Trump's into crypto, so I hate crypto.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like those people, though, do half of people actually hate Trump still? Or do you think that the population has kind of come around to realizing that they were kind of maybe indoctrinated to hate him? Like, it does seem like there's a lot.
I think that's your bubble.
Maybe. I've just seen so many of my somewhat more center lefty friends kind of come around to be like, Trump's not that bad. Maybe I was a little bit hasty.
Yeah.
But maybe that's
you could
the
be
tech
right.
bro circle. I don't know.
I think that I don't know. I think that you do have a good point, though, Graham, that there is this knee-jerk reaction about anything Trump touches, especially if it's like this NFT stuff, and then people are like, yeah, you see, crypto is terrible.
So I heard this I listened to this really interesting podcast a few days ago, Laura Shin's podcast, and it had two progressives, making the progressive case for Bitcoin. And I just found it to be very interesting the way these people would try to, like, they talked about how they would try to convince other progressives like that Bitcoin's good, right? Bitcoin and crypto, but especially Bitcoin. Now, these guys are only talking about Bitcoin, and they're basically just saying, like, the fact that Trump is championing it makes it so hard for them to convince anyone that they should buy Bitcoin or like,
oh, man,
that Bitcoin is a good thing. So
are people that weak-minded?
Yes. Yes,
Wow,
definitely.
it's incredible.
Um, although, I mean, again, here I just read something on this today. Basically, at least in the U.S., the people who own crypto come from both sides of the political spectrum. I think it's basically close to 50-50. So there really isn't that much of a bias, right? Or maybe it's 60-40. I can't remember exactly what the stat was, but it's very close in terms
Yeah.
of crypto owners. So it's perceived, at least politically, to be one party issue, right? Like Republicans are for it and then Democrats are against it. But the people who actually own it, it's not the case.
Okay, but there's only 1/5 of people in the U.S. who own crypto, so the
By the way, I don't
majority
believe
don't.
that number. I don't believe that number. I think it's much lower than what Coinbase has said.
Okay, exactly.
Anyway,
so the majority of people don't own it. So at least 4/5 of people don't, and like, yeah, those people, now that it's a political issue, are going to be much less likely to engage.
Yeah.
They're,
I mean,
all their biases, crypto bros, it's bad for the environment, whatever. Those are just going to get supercharged.
Yeah.
And
But it just seems like
it's not good. Even
it's
if
a
he
very
wins.
emotional stance to take.
Yeah.
Well,
Incredibly
politics right now is purely emotional. I feel like you can't.
Yeah, but like, okay, why is it though that the people on the right, or even center right, nobody's like boycotting Canadian dollars because of Trudeau being a wimp? You know, nobody's like, it's not like there's not that same level of like disdain for all things because of one thing. It's maybe it's like a lack of McCarthyism or something like that on one side of the political spectrum, whereas on the other it's just this highly emotional, highly like controversial. Anything that's like Trump, anything that's remotely could be misconstrued as alt-right, racism, bad boy. Anything that's not on the woke scale, dangerous. I can't be seen with that. That would be political suicide for my friends in upper Manhattan, or whatever the
I don't
people
know.
talk about.
I feel like I've met a lot of right-leaning people in crypto who make me roll my eyes about some of this like libertarian-esque things, which to me just it's completely unrealistic. And
yeah, libertarian people can be
and,
also insane, but I wouldn't
yeah,
associate the libertarian stuff with right always, because there's lefty libertarians too.
no, I agree. But what I'm saying is in crypto, all I was saying is that I do think there are issues on the right which make me think that these people just need to like take a deep breath and not throw out everything. Like, again, this is a third rail, but like gun control. Now, I'm from the South in Florida, and I grew up shooting guns and stuff. But just saying that word doesn't like incense me and froth at the mouth and like oh, they're gonna take my liberty and go. Just calm down. We can talk about it. It's not gonna kill you to talk and to hear these words. So I don't know. I do think the left is like that about crypto, but I don't think it's an exclusive phenomena to like be overly sensitive.
Have any of you guys gotten to the point of feeling like the world needs a hard fork? Like, are you guys that black-pilled yet?
That's why like crypto is interesting to me. And David's always throwing a wet blanket on that.
No, I
sentiment.
Frankly, a lot of my friends. I live in a foreign country, and so it's very interesting. The way that they perceive the U.S. in particular is through media, because we don't live there. And then when they go home, they live in they're from like the East Coast, they're from the coastal areas, whereas my family's from the South. So when I go back home, it's a very different feeling. There are a lot of liberals, especially in cities, but there are a lot of conservatives, and it's a lot less, I would say, apocalyptic feeling. Like people are still like meeting and talking and not killing each other over words and on either side. So I don't know. I am the wet blanket in that regard, because I do think that the online tenor, and maybe even the tenor in like hotbeds like New York and DC, which some of my friends are from, is very well, not exaggerated, but it's kind of crazy, unhealthy. But yeah, I'm the one who always pushes back against the world hard fork. What about you, Corbin?
I don't know, man. My neighbor's got the table saw going, so I'm just gonna. I'm like, my mic's picking up. I'm like, is this from me or are you guys? Like,
I can't. Yeah, I'm not picking
Okay.
it
Yeah, I
up.
can't hear it.
okay, cool.
Don't worry. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm like, when I speak to folks that are clearly not of the same opinion and belief system as me, I can get along fine. I can, we smile, have a normal civilized conversation. There's not like, I don't disdain you just for who you are, and you probably don't disdain me for who I am. So that's good for the most part. But yeah, I do kind of feel like just the the state of the world being in this very hotbed, high friction, high emotion, completely totally different belief system that we all kind of like are forced to live together and like get along together. Is it holding us back, And I'm not saying it's time to split up the cities and draw a line down the middle sort of thing, but it would be interesting to see just different pockets kind of evolve on their own and see where that led. But maybe that turns into something more I don't know, warfare-ish. I don't know.
Well, I've said to my friends who are all city folk that there would be no contest in the States. I mean, like, what is it like? The military is made up of like, what is something ridiculous, 80, 90%, something crazy. People from rural areas, what is city people ever going to do? I'm not advocating anything. I'm just
they'll write scathing reviews in the New York Times.
Exactly.
Like, how could you do this?
Hypothetical, yeah. In this hypothetical break, I know where I would put my chips on the winners being, and it wouldn't be with the purple-haired city folk. But anyway, that's
you're gonna be getting cut off from the producer here any second now.
No, I'm not advocating that, and I don't think it'll happen. I think it's all personally overblown. But yeah, I that's where I think it would lie. Yeah, wow, racy topics.
Well, getting back to the topic that I brought up is whether Trump supporting crypto is good or bad for crypto.
What do you think? Graham, where do you come down on it?
Yeah, it's bad. It's dangerous. Net bad. I mean, he better win. If he doesn't, like, it's game over. I mean, it's not game over, but
if he doesn't win
4 years
and has done all this crypto nonsense, then it's really bad for crypto. But if he wins and has done all this crypto stuff, it's actually probably good for crypto. So he's playing a fun game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's why I think the markets all hinge on what happens here in the election. So there's just going to be this like chop and volatility leading up to it, and after, it's game on. I've
been on like several calls this week with folks in the US, and pretty well everyone has been saying it seems like the market is kind of like nobody wants it to be this way, but it seems like the market is very much contingent on him winning, and if he doesn't, we might skip a bull cycle.
I would this segues into that thing that I posted, this another crypto enforcement action post pivot, because this is exactly
let's talk about that.
What you guys are talking about. I've been hearing about this for a couple weeks in different news stories, and then I saw this tweet this week, and it does seem to be like a pattern that has emerged, which is basically the reason that the Ether spot ETFs were approved was because Biden's people were desperate to kind of make sure that he wasn't pushed out, and so then they overrode the SEC at the last minute as a kind of like Hail Mary to stay relevant, and the SEC was set to absolutely reject reject the Ether ETFs. Anyway, everyone at the time seemed like, oh, this is a big pivot. This is the Democratic Party kind of embracing crypto. Well, now that Harris has staged a coup and taken over the DNC, they're back to their kind of default stance, which is crypto is bad. And you kind of have seen this pickup with the SEC launching all these actions, right? Was it OpenSea last week? Insane. And then here's yet another one, and it really does feel like this is it doesn't bode well for a Harris presidency for crypto. As in, you guys are 100% right. They will react pretty harshly, I think, and be more empowered if the Democrats win. So, yeah,
Yeah,
It's a
they're
very
going to
risky
round us
game we're
up, is what
playing.
you're saying.
well, at least in the U.S., they're gonna, and this is just a sad thing for the U.S. I think we touched on this last week, guys, right? Where I was so taken with the fact that Japan's, again, mixed messages in the past, right? And then crypto companies were leaving Japan, right? The taxes were insane, but then they course corrected. They realized that this was really stupid and was hurting, economic potential, and so they've kind of made changes, and we've started to see the results, and it's very positive. And man, the U.S. is just gonna, if it goes in this direction the way it looks like it's going, the U.S. is just gonna be screwed. And the crypto, it would just be so tragic.
I mean, this is kind of why I think the right ultimately will lose. Because the left plays for keeps, man. They will lock you up. They do not give a shit. And then, you got like, Trump was on the, what's that, Lex Friedman? I only caught some clips, but it was like, why didn't you lock her up like you said you were going to do? You could have locked up Hillary. Why didn't you lock her up? He's like, we just didn't, I didn't want it to be a bigger man. Whatever he said, Do you think she would have done that? No, man. They're playing for keeps. You're like playing in this different game theory of like, we're more noble.
They're going after him right now. I mean, it's 100% game on.
So I don't know. I think if you're playing against an opponent who's playing a different game than you, it does mean that you got to kind of be willing to match their violence or match their energy. And if you're not, you're just over time going to get plowed.
Yeah. I mean, I think though, in the short run, it might be bad for crypto in general, but like in a 2, 3, 5 year time span, crypto will be fine. It's just that America is going to lose, right? Like all this, America's still holding on to kind of the number one spot in crypto by way of the fact that tech is still strongly associated with America. But man, you're just going to see a mass exodus over the next 4 years. And I don't think America will ever recover from that, to be honest. I think Singapore and Dubai, maybe even Japan, will be so far ahead. What a tragedy. Just so dumb.
Well, you guys maybe saw in Canada, they're trying to impose an exit tax. Maybe they already did. Graham, do you recall hearing that? There's a $25, I believe it's $25,000 exit tax now to become a non-resident of Canada. Yeah.
What?
You're grandfathered in, I think. I think so am I. So, but if you ever convinced your, brother or sister,
even just for normies, even if you have no money, you still have to pay $25,000 to not be a resident anymore.
Yeah.
So if you go to Bali and after 3 months you owe the Canadian government $25,000.
Yeah, whatever it is. I'm not sure if it's actually this is what was floating around. I don't know if it's actually locked in. I haven't really been following, but my brother was horribly pissed off about it, being like, Justin Trudeau's trying to charge me $25,000 if I ever want to leave this goddamn shithole. So,
Jesus.
Yeah. So it does make me think that more of these Western countries are going to take this more authoritarian approach against their own people to say, hey, we know it sucks here, but tough shit, you're not going anywhere. We got you, man. You're ours. And if you want out, you gotta pay your way out. Much in the same way that the U.S. does with their exit tax, which we know went extremely well for Roger. So, yeah,
Yeah.
That's insane.
you're negotiating with tyrants here. You know, these people don't want you to leave. They want your tax money. They want you to just, you know, enjoy what you get, eat the bugs, you know, get cozy. Get cozy and watch the world burn.
I know it's so trite, but it's just like if you think about if the government had done this in the 90s with the internet, right? And there was kind of a push for that in the 90s. There was a big kind of debate about how open should the US allow the internet to be. And I would say that the people who said no, we shouldn't regulate this, we should do this with a light touch, they won, but it was reasonably close. It wasn't like a landslide. I remember this as a young person, and I didn't really get it until this stuff was going on with crypto. But it's like the same thing's playing out now. And man, if the US and Canada, for example, if they land on the other side of this, they are going to suffer.
Yeah, the difference is that then the people in charge are the same people basically who are in charge now, but they're like 30 years older. So then at least they were like a little less geriatric, relatively speaking. So they may have had, more people had a more foresight to think like, okay, this is an up and coming technology. Maybe we shouldn't like regulate it out of existence. But now, you know, like, there's less people.
You can again, some of the macro historians I've listened to, and this is before this crypto stuff was really kind of like, this is like a couple years ago. They said that there was two cases you could look at. You could look at how America regulated their relationship, the American government's relationship with the internet, and then the EU's relationship with the internet. And it was just completely opposite, right? The EU did their normal, like, crazy, harsh, onerous regulation.
Yeah.
And guess what? All the companies there moved to America. All the people, they got the hell out of there.
Yeah. How many big Web2 companies came out of the EU? Like Spotify, that's it?
Yeah, but then they have a huge presence in America now too, right? Like, anyway, so.
All right, we got 15 minutes left. What do you guys want to talk about next? We could discuss the flaming dumpster fire that is Ethereum, and how.
Guys, I only want positive messages about Ethereum now. Okay, we don't need more FUD on Ethereum. It's great.
My bags.
It's great.
My bags. I think this is an interesting debate. I don't think this is necessarily just negative. I think this is kind of crucial for crypto in general, and it's not necessarily that it's like existential for Ethereum. I do think it's kind of a very interesting point in time to see, and I think we'll look back and this time period will be kind of important to see how the architecture of crypto plays out. Personally, so the idea though is, like, again, a lot of bag holders are upset about, Ethereum not performing compared to Bitcoin, or Ethereum not performing compared to Solana, and everyone's trying to find out why. And so then you're getting a lot of interesting debates on this.
Base charged $2.5 million in fees in August and paid $11,000 to settle on mainnet.
Yeah, so Graham brought up an image showing that Base is making some decent money and is paying just a fraction back to the L1 for this.
Yeah. Have you guys been following this whole Mega ETH thing? Make Ethereum great again?
No.
The Mega ETH. Yeah, I have.
Yeah, so it's a new project. I've listened to a couple of interviews with some of the founders, and they sound good at marketing. But it seems that the idea is that they're creating an execution layer. It's another layer on Ethereum, but it's
Layer 2, yeah.
It's where basically the throughput and cost is like, and the latency is like at Web 2 levels. So the idea is you could like basically do Web 2 things on this Ethereum chain. Yeah. So it's another L1, but for some reason it seems to be getting traction here somehow.
A lot of VCs in it.
So they're calling it
so
Mega ETH or Mega ETH?
Mega
Like, is
ETH,
this like a Mega
I think.
Death kind of vibe thing?
Mega ETH. Yeah, and they got red hats that said "Make Ethereum Great Again."
Oh, okay, yeah. It's like a Mega thing.
Yeah, Mega. Yeah,
Cool.
but Mega. Yeah.
Have you guys followed any of Justin Bonds' critiques on the L2 scaling problems? I dropped a link there in our show notes as well as in our chat here, Graham.
I'll bring it up.
Yeah, so Justin Bonds, he's been a pretty harsh critic against all layer 2s and thinks that scaling on layer 2s is just cannibalistic toward the L1. And he says, yeah, Ethereum is dying while L2s dance on its grave. ETH cannot sustain high fee revenue because it lacks the capacity. At the same time, L2s are seeing record highs in usage and fees while they lobby to keep ETH's capacity down. This is what makes it a parasitic relationship. And he's got an interesting thread just kind of covering his stance on this. But he's been pretty harsh towards all L2s and the whole ETH scaling model. Overall, I think his take is that all of this thing, all of that value should be just on ETH L1, or it ends up just cannibalizing everything that ETH is trying to do.
Yeah,
but it can't be right now. It can't be because ETH is too slow, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the reason I brought up Mega ETH is because let's say you were to increase the activity on these L2s by several orders of magnitude, like actually bring sort of Web 2 level usage, then there's a case to be made that the value accruing back to Ethereum might actually be something. So if you improve the performance and scale it so massively that you can actually do all the things we've talked about since 2015 on Ethereum, then it'll finally like accrue enough value back to Ethereum. I think that's one theory.
But
here.
Yeah, so again, I put some ideas on this, but is it Kyle Samani was on Bankless like a week ago, I think. Very funny memes came out of that, by the way. But he was on Bankless, and his idea basically is that fees are going to trend to zero, right?
Yeah.
Over time on any blockchain, and that the way that chains will make revenue is through MEV, right? And that's basically he thinks that's basically the only way. He kind of discounts any kind of like moneyness, store of value thing. Thinks that's kind of overblown on any blockchain that's not Bitcoin. And so if that's true, that means that an L2 would kind of by definition capture most of the value, right? Because that's where the execution is on. That's the ordering of transactions and stuff. And then that means basically over time that almost all the value or basically all of it will be captured by an L2, and then the L1 will kind of starve. Again, you have to take his kind of what's it called, premise, which is that fees will tend to zero. To get to his conclusion. Premise. Yeah. And if that's true, though, then you get this interesting thing where Ethereum would eventually die, I guess, or basically these L2s would split off and become their own L1s. in which case that's also bad for Ethereum.
Sounds like a lame theory.
Why is that?
I just don't like it. It hurts my current holdings. So, I disagree fully. That guy's an idiot.
I think it's interesting, though.
Bonds? Is he an idiot as well?
No, he's probably right. I do.
They're saying the same thing, aren't they?
Yeah, basically. Maybe. But this guy wraps it up. I think I would say that there is maybe a path for ETH to kind of fix this, but yeah, the ultra decentralized people are going to say that that's too harsh, but probably charging L2s a higher fee. Like, they're getting a free ride right now. And yeah, if it is in fact, say, hurting the ultrasound money meme, charge them more. Why are we giving these L2s such a deal?
That's really is honestly one
just create
solution.
their own chain, won't they?
No, because I think they ultimately want, like, you don't want to roll up. I think like part of the benefits of an L2 is that you want to roll up onto like the one of the most secure chains you can. And right now that would be Ethereum. Like, you can't really safely say you're rolling up onto Bitcoin right now. Very few are trying to.
So it's security.
Yeah, I would say that that's probably the main reason. I mean, unless they can suddenly just, grow to the level of Ethereum security, which it's going to take them years, then they're ultimately kind of putting themselves back multiple steps by doing something like that.
I also think that I don't think Solana can ever reach, like, a Solana L1 could ever reach a, like, millions of transactions per second, with like low latency and all that world computer style thing on one base chain. I just don't see that being a thing personally. They claim that they can scale to that. I just don't think they can. And so I think eventually, and a lot of people in Solana also think this, that eventually, including on like Solana focused podcasts I've listened to, eventually Solana will have to have an L2 ecosystem, right? And so to me, it's almost more of a thing of like, which is better to do? Is it better to start early with L2s, which is what Ethereum has done, or what Solana eventually will be forced to do, which is when the tech and the hardware and all the constraints of like, how fast you can send packets across the globe to get consensus. When you eventually run into that and are forced onto an L2, will that be better, right? Because I could imagine Ethereum being eclipsed by Solana, but then eventually Solana needing to kind of proliferate L2s. But maybe that's the better way. I don't know. But I think eventually it'll look the same. The end result will be a lot of L2s with great interoperability, and then you have a layer 1 for, like you said, settlement and security, stuff like that.
All right, let's wrap it up. I want to bring up this. Who brought up this Tigran Gambarian thing? I want to show that. That seems interesting.
Yeah,
is that you, David? It's Corbin?
No, that was me.
No,
sorry,
it's Corbin.
I think I shared a comment from last week that I didn't really feel too bad for the guy, and it was reassuring to see Amir Taki say something similar. So I didn't realize that he was actually this, according to Amir, the Gambarian guy. He was actually involved in Ross's arrest. So how the tables turn.
All right, I want to share with audio. Just a sec. Who's that guy?
That's Gambarian.
Oh, that's him. Oh, he looks pretty good, actually. He's not as sick as I thought he was.
So for viewers, there's a video of Mr. Gambarian with a a crutch, and he's yelling at his Nigerian handler.
Why
he's
can
innocent.
you not walk?
Why are you gay?
Corbin got it.
God, I love YouTube. So, yeah, Amir Taki says Tigran Gabarian played a lead role in sending Ross Ulbricht to jail and the imprisonment of many darknet ops. He is no friend of cypherpunks and is all alone here. He does not deserve any sympathy. That spoke some lively debate in his comments, where a lot of people were defending the guy, and then a lot of people were like, "Let him cook." So, yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, when I saw that, I felt bad for thinking this, but when you at least in the U.S. you always see people show up to their trial with like a respirator, or in a wheelchair, or kind of shaking, like they're enfeebled somehow, and you just can't believe that anymore, right? Like they're trying to get brownie points for looking like they've had a tough time.
Yeah, we've all seen.
That's the first thing I thought.
We've all seen it. It's what is it? It's that Saul Goodman. You put the neck brace on. Everyone,
yeah, that's right.
Everyone feels a little more sympathy
that's
for
right.
you. Yeah, you serve less time.
I find it quite interesting that Binance hired this guy. What's the play there? Like,
well, Ultra Insider.
IRS, yeah, IRS Insider probably knows the people, knows the playbooks that they use against these types of companies, and I think it's a play. Can't hold it against them.
Yeah. All right. Any other show and tell here before we wrap it up?
Do mind the millennials have peaked. This is not crypto related, but
yes.
I am a millennial, so I felt it.
Just got to find the right screen somewhere in here. There it is. No,
there it is. No, you just passed it. There, go down to that picture.
Yeah.
All right. Percentage of Americans married by birth decade, right? So it shows like kind of where a cohort of people level off in terms of their marriage rate, and you have 1940s, 50s, 60s, and 70s all kind of leveling off around between what, like 75 and 90%, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the 1980s, and we're basically starting to level off right now around what, like 70, 60%?
Yeah.
And then the 1990s are starting to level off like 30%, right? So
that's a big drop.
It's a huge drop. It basically means that the number of millennials, the percentage of millennials that are going to marry or have married, this is it. We've reached terminal percentage rate, and so that should have major implications for millennials having children and stuff as well. But it's way lower than the previous generations. So millennials have peaked in terms of that.
Does not bode well for macroeconomics.
Yeah, unless we get like, our AI robot, what's it called? Slaves in our house.
I would say it's anecdotal, but around, I like within my circle of people, everyone's pregnant and having kids, and that just might be the years old that I am. But man, it just seems like everyone is just cranking out kids. Like, I've got friends like 2, 3, 4 family members with like having twins and like just nonstop.
Western friends?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a weird just time of my life where everyone's kind of doing that. But yeah, I guess, you do walk around Japan and there's some lonely people around there, I
would say most of my Western friends they're all male, and most of them are not married, let alone have kids.
So they're unsuccessful males.
Well, I think they're probably a victim of their success, right? Why choose one? Yeah.
Okay. They're slaying, is what you're saying.
Yeah. It's very relatively easy if you're not like a dysfunctional male, I feel like. What about
I don't know
you,
if that's success though. Slaying, I wouldn't chalk that. I mean, you can have some fun, sure, but overall, your goal should be to, find a good person, drive as many babies into them as humanly possible, and then have a great life.
Drive babies into them or out of them?
Drive them in.
Yeah. I know quite a few people who are around my age, and they never, like had kids, and they're just very different. Like, how do I describe it?
Narcissistic,
selfish. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
don't worry, Graham.
some,
None
right?
of them are listening to this.
Oh, we don't have any listeners to this podcast, so that's fine.
Yeah, it's all good. Our producer's in the chat. She's got choice words just saved up for as soon as we get off.
Oh, I'm sure.
But yeah, I have met some of those double income, no kids people. They have dogs or cats, and they find other ways to create joy in their lives. They don't seem as fulfilled, but they do seem like they have money, which I guess if that's your goal for success, maybe that's enough. But man, having a kid, it totally changes everything. It's like one of those. It's like trying to explain to a caveman how good electricity is. To the caveman, they're like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, man. It doesn't sound that innovative, But when you have it, you can't get rid of it. You're like,
I would go even further, Corbin. I'd be like, it's like trying to describe to a man who doesn't have a kid what love is. At least for me, it's just like, yeah, you don't really know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I got into an argument with someone, and I was discounting this other guy's opinion. Basically, I was like, "Look, this guy doesn't even have kids. Like, why would you listen to what? Why would you respect his opinion? He's a grown ass man with no kids.
So not a grown ass man, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, what if they could just if you could build a society where that increases your voting power? I feel like that would be okay. If you're just gonna be a dink, sorry, you're not contributing to the future of this thing. Tough shit. You lose some vote power. Change the governance model a little bit. If you're driving kids in or out, whatever the right terminology is here. Yeah, multiply your vote power.
Yeah, I think like crypto has made me not paranoid, but cynical about this, because you'd have like not Sybil attacks, but you'd have kind of.
Well, thanks for bringing it back to crypto. Because
you would. You'd have the like trailer trash rise up, right? Everyone's having 8 kids, and they're like, "We're going to take this country back."
Exactly. You get like someone who's the president who has like 75 kids or something like that.
Durov, man, Durov's president now. He just walks in like God mode.
All right,
I'm for it, man. Could be cool. Genghis Khan.
Oh, it's so funny.
Let's wrap it up. That's it for the show. Thank you, David and Corbin, for joining. Thanks for anyone who joined in and listened. We'll be back next week. We're out. See you later. Bye-bye.